Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Detroit Tigers franchise here on MLB The Show 20. Yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I streamed the full off-season on YouTube. You can go back and check that out. It is in the channel. I will also link it in the description below if you're interested. Most of the time when I stream, I don't really know what time to really stream for you guys, so a little call to action here. Let me know in the comments section below. What is the best time for you to be able to see an off-season stream if I had to put it out there? What is the best day for you? Most of the time I stream on Twitch. I will leave a link to my Twitch in the description below as well. Go ahead and follow me over there so that you can check out some more live content from myself. Now into this off-season video. First, rebranding was something that I wanted to do all along in this series, and I found a nice Tiger logo to use. I think it's a pretty clean logo, and it's pretty badass as well. We decided that the home jerseys in chat should be pinstriped with a deep navy with some orange accents as well, so I think that that stays true to the Tigers' actual colors and also gives them a new, fresh look for the new millennium. Away uniforms. We experimented with both the deep navy and orange pants, but with the orange tops that we had, we decided to go with gray pants. And I think it came out pretty clean. I like the rebrand, and so did chat. So let me know what you guys think below in the comments section. Next, we had coaching contracts that had to be debated on, and we had Ron Gardenhire and Vavra and Collier. We decided to try them out for one more year instead of taking all of the money hits and letting them go, but we did let Clark and Keno get the heck out of here. They had to go. Joey Cassidy, Mike Shildt, and Hoyt Grant were where our offers went out first. We ended up signing Cassidy and Grant, but Shildt gave us a little hard time later. In re-signings, both CJ Cron and Jonathan Scope got offers from us, and the computer ended up trading CJ Cron away on us. Now, we think that the rebrand set everything back to auto, but we went around and flipped all that stuff back to manual, and we were able to flip the same trade back to the Brewers, and everything was copacetic after that. Arbitration offers. We had starting pitcher Matthew Boyd, which we offered $5 million to. We had starting pitcher Zach Godley, who we offered $2 million to. Starting pitcher Daniel Norris, who we offered $2.56 million to. And starting pitcher Michael Fulmer, who we offered $2.5 million to. Then we had relievers Phil Matone, who we offered $700,000 to, and reliever Buck Farmer, who we offered $1.15 million to. Our closing pitcher Joe Jimenez, we offered him $800,000, and our third baseman Yeimer Candelario, we offered $650K to, and we offered shortstop Nico Goodrum, who had a pretty good year for us, $850,000. Some of the big free agents in this class, like Betts, Kluber, Bauer, they were really nice toys, but they weren't ultimately something that we felt that the Tigers should be going after or would be able to get as a rebuilding franchise, so we ultimately did not make them offers. Closing pitcher Ken Giles ended up going to the Twins on a 4-year contract worth $6.15 million a year. Second baseman DJ LeMahieu signed with the Diamondbacks for 4 years, $14.45 million a year. We had considered signing LeMahieu, but his price tag just too high. Right field Mookie Betts ends up going to the San Francisco Giants on a 7-year, $20.63 million a year contract. Starting pitcher Trevor Bauer goes to our division rivals in the White Sox, a 5-year, $10.22 million a year. And starting pitcher Corey Kluber signs with the Red Sox on a 3-year, $16.11 million per. Shildt does decline our offer for first base coach, so we offered it to Jamie Dunning. Center fielder Starling Marte ends up going to the Phillies, just a 1-year, $9.6 million a year contract. We probably could have made that offer to him. Dunning ends up going to the Rays as a third base coach, so we offer Brandon Hyde the job, and he does accept our first base coach offer. The Cardinals claim second baseman Dowell Lugo, as we had to do some waivers in order to set our 40-man, and the Reds end up claiming starting pitcher Franklin Perez, which was my only regret in losing. I don't mind the Lugo loss. Center fielder George Springer ends up going to the Brewers on a 4-year, $11.33 million a year contract. So we end up signing 70 overall, 25-year-old second baseman Irving Lopez to fill the spot that we had empty. The Twins end up trading third baseman Miguel Sano to the Red Sox for JD Martinez and Brandon Workman. Now, they just signed Ken Giles at closing pitcher, so bringing in Workman, I guess that's for a setup man. But trying to improve the bullpen and get JD Martinez for Sano, I don't know if I like that deal there. Let me know in the comments if you like it for them. The Rule 5 draft ends up going well until we lose newly signed Irving Lopez, who we just brought in to the Seattle Mariners. So they get a decent player there. We use that roster spot to then beef up our bullpen with signing Pedro Strop. We had also considered Joakim Soria. Those were the two guys we were going back and forth in chat, but chat ultimately decided that Strop was better for us. The Braves end up trading left fielder Marcell Ozuna and center fielder Justin Dean to the Marlins for third baseman Brian Anderson. Interesting deal there for the Braves. And then we take a look at arbitration. Norris, we end up winning his arbitration, so he does sign for the $2.56 million. Jimenez wins his and ends up getting $2.31 million, so almost an entire $1.5 million more than what he would have gotten. Matone wins his as well, gets $1.39 million, so almost double the money for him. Boyd we win at $5 million. Farmer we win at $1.15 million. Candelario wins his and gets $2.43 million instead of $650K. Goodrum wins his and gets $3.19 million instead of $850K. Fulmer wins his and gets $3.24 million instead of $2.5 million. And we win Godley's arbitration and pay him a flat $2 million. Turnbull then gets traded to the Texas Rangers for third baseman Josh Jung. Then we make a trade in division with the Royals to pick up relieving pitcher Holden Capps. We trade them Buck Farmer and Jackie Gray. Spring training then began. It seemed like things were going pretty well as we started off with 2 losses and then got 3 wins. We ended up playing in a game against the Red Sox. In player locking, Kristen Storton on his very first pitch in spring training, well, as far as us controlling him, he hits a 2-run blast, his second homer of spring training, an outright bomb off Jake Odorizzi in this game, and an absolute crush against the Boston Red Sox. You love to see Kristen Stewart doing this well. There's a few people who've been shouting MVP chants in the comments section, and I can definitely see a lot of potential from Kristen Stewart, as he also hit a double all the way up to the wall in this game. So he had himself a pretty nice day. As we take a look at that box score, Reyes goes 0 for 3, Turner hit a pinch hit. Vizcaino was 1 for 3 in the game. Miggy was 1 for 2 in the game. He scored a run. Scope was 1 for 3 in the game, but he had 2 ribbies. 1 for 1 was Pace in a pinch hit situation. 2 for 3 for Bonifacio. 2 for 4 for Kristen Stewart with his 2 ribbies, of course, with his bomb. Jake Rogers was 1 for 4. So a lot of good things we're seeing, and Seth Beer seems to be playing pretty well in spring training so far. You'll love to see that from some of these guys. Stewart hit his second homer, Scope hit his third, Bonifacio hit his second, and Rogers hit his second of the spring training. Fulmer has been pretty good, a 1.29 ERA. You love to see that from him. We also player-locked Miguel Cabrera in a game against the Twins. We won't really talk about that one all that much, though we're taking a look at the box score here. And you can see that Kristen Stewart hit a home run in that game as well, his third of spring training. So Kristen Stewart has been absolutely instrumental so far. Matt Manning pitched really well, a 1.29 ERA for him so far this spring training. But Matthew Boyd has not been looking ace-like. Then we go into this game against the Yankees. We end up winning that game. We end up taking 3 of our next 4. Then we get a loss, but we win 4 in a row after that. We've had a pretty decent spring training. We go into this game that we have managed against the New York Yankees near the end of the stream. And you can see that this one was definitely a tough early going. Not a lot of runs coming on the board between a couple teams that can score runs. Fulmer loaded the bases. We brought in Casey Mize. He gave up a run, but then he got himself out of the inning. So you like to see that from Casey Mize. You wish he didn't give up the singular run, but it's okay. He's taken on the Yankees. They're a very tough lineup, and you can see here he ended up giving up another run to them in the 3rd. We end up taking him out. We get through that inning, and we are trying to get through more of the game. A sac fly would bring in a run for us. It would make it 2-1. Tanaka still on the mound pitching in the 5th, which is weird for a spring training game. You usually don't really let somebody go 5 innings. Garrett Cole would come in the middle of this game, which makes it even tougher. When you have to go up against Tanaka and then Cole and then Aaron Judge hit a solo shot, that would make it 3-1. Now we get to go up against Tommy Kahnle, and we start doing the pinch hits to bring in different guys, give them a chance. Seth Beer gets himself a hit. Jake Rogers gets himself a hit. We take out Goodrum, and we put in Justin Turner. He's the only guy that could play shortstop, and he gets a couple outs there. He gets an out on a fielder's choice. So now we've got runners on the corners with an out. We get a walk, and then Vizcaino going to get taken out for Candelario. He would end up scoring the run of all people. The one person I really can't stand on this team right now is Candelario, and he does a good thing. And this is why he's still on the team, of all things, as Jacoby Jones would get the Yankees out of that inning by flying out. And we continue on through the game here. And Aaron Hicks on first base as the Yankees looking to threaten Daniel Norris, who's on the mound in the bottom of the 7th. They would also get their second man on, but a couple outs in a row. And wow, a strikeout to end the inning. Very nice job. Jonathan Scope then would be up. We would take him out for Isaac Paredes. So Paredes would ground out. CJ Crone would come up. We would take Crone and let him hit. He would strike out, unfortunately. Demerit would get on base, and Seth Beer would strike out, so nothing we could really do about that. Single for Mandy Alvarez, but that's all the Yankees could get in the bottom half of the 8th. And then we would get a run off of a Justin Turner double to tie the game in the top of the 9th. Jacob Wagspek in the game for the Yankees would get him out of the inning. Daniel Norris starts giving up things, so we are going to put in Mario Petit, and he blows the entire game. Yankees win it in a walk-off in the 9th inning. Tariq Skubal ends up sustaining an injury, a shoulder strain during the game. He'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks. That's a little unfortunate. We do end up losing the next game to Pittsburgh, but then taking on Pittsburgh in the final game of spring training, we would end up getting the win against them and end off our spring training run at 17-12, which is really nice to see that we could do pretty well in spring training with the split squads and all, even though it's, preseason and it doesn't really matter. But 17-12 is a nice record. Zach Godley had a 4.78 ERA, a 1.69 WHIP, 33 strikeouts in 32 innings pitched. Blazovic, 4.68 ERA for him. Not exactly what we want to see. He was 2-0, but, record doesn't mean as much as keeping the runs and the walks and hits down. So, unfortunately, Blazovic did not do as well as we thought maybe he could do. But we had some other guys that we had questions about going into spring training. Guys like Michael Fulmer, guys like Matthew Boyd, and it'll be interesting to see how they have done as well. So Fulmer ended up going 2-1. Matt Manning ends up with a really good ERA at 1.71. Matthew Boyd was absolutely horrendous in spring training, a 6.68 ERA. Daniel Norris was a 3.86 with a 1.07 WHIP. He did pretty well. Casey Mize, a 5.68 and a 1.68 WHIP. I don't think he's quite ready for the majors. Tariq Skubal was looking really nice in 15 innings pitched, but unfortunately he will be on the injured list to start the season. So overall, starting pitchers, I don't know. What 5 do you think should be in our rotation? Let me know in the comments section below as we continue on through here, looking at the relievers. And we see that Emmanuel Clase had a 2.77 ERA, a .6 for Strop. What a signing that could end up being, as he has already gone up to a 75 overall. We signed him at a 71. Steve Cishek had a 5.27 ERA. We kind of signed him to keep away from the White Sox, but he hasn't exactly been great for us. Matone, a 0 ERA. He only pitched 3 innings, but he did really an excellent job in those 3 innings. Use Mario Petit. We just signed him a 1.80 ERA despite blowing that game, so can't be too upset at him. And Junior Fernandez didn't really get a chance to pitch. Joe Jimenez at closer. He had 11 saves in his 12 innings in spring training, 17 Ks. You'll like to see that from him. Jake Rogers hit 238 with 3 homers. Josh Fegley, who we brought in to back him up, 318, 2 homers. Not too bad. I like what we were getting out of the 2 catchers. Those will definitely be the 2 guys that we will be platooning in the regular season. Same thing here at first base. Miggy didn't have his greatest spring training. Crone, obviously, he's going to hit around that 245 range, but he's going to hit home runs, and that's exactly what he did in spring training, as he hit 6 of them. So, you know those 2 guys will be on the roster. Scope hit 5 homers, batted .282. He's been huge for us, and he continues to do so. I was surprised at Vizcaino's power, as he hit 4 home runs this spring training. I was also surprised to see how poorly Justin Turner ended up doing, but there wasn't a single person at third base who did too much better. Candelario only had 12 at-bats and hit .333, so he was basically 4 for 12, which isn't like the biggest thing in the world. Nico Goodrum, .243. He hit 2 home runs, but look at Kristen Stewart, 4 homers and a .299 average, trying to stave off Tommy Pace and prove that Tommy Pace shouldn't be up yet. And quite frankly, I'm going to agree with Kristen Stewart for now. Seth Beer only played in 12 games. He only had 13 at-bats, so it's kind of hard to judge what he did, but he did hit a home run in his 13 at-bats and batted .308, so not terrible. Maybe he should get more of an opportunity. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Center field, Victor Reyes hit .202. He only hit 1 home run this spring training with 84 at-bats. Riley Green hit .345 and 2 home runs. He might be close to ready. Richard McGowan, the number 1 overall pick, hit .296 in his 27 at-bats. Bunty, Jacoby Jones, they look like a couple guys that just aren't ready. They didn't have the greatest spring training. Bonifacio, though, a surprising spring training from him, batting .338 with a bunch of home runs. Demerit batted .294, so that is what we're looking at, guys. Let me know what you want to see this team, how you want to see it take shape, what kind of a pitching rotation, or who do you think should make the roster that maybe we weren't thinking would make the roster. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel and you want to see more MLB The Show 20 content, because I have plenty more of this Detroit Tiger franchise coming your way with the new rebrand, and I will see you all next time we can build a winner together.